Welcome. This is Joshua Benoist in Autodesk Product Support. So this is video 19 in our series where we're talking about how to use Parametric Part Builder to make parametric multi-view parts. Let's look at the problem statement. Pause the video if you need to read that, and let's move on.
Okay, so I think when we save this, it unchecked the hide part flag, but oftentimes this hide part flag is checked, which means you won't find it at all in the MvPart add dialog. This flag right here, if it's checked, that means the part is not visible to your users. You know, let's say you're working on your central MvPart catalog. If this were unchecked, your part's visible to all the users out there. Let's say you're still working on it. You know, the part's probably broken and not working right. You don't want that part going into other people's projects. So this use this hide part flag. If it's on, that means the part, you're still working on it. It's not ready. Uncheck it when you're ready, and it's now visible. Custom sizing, you know, we're using a table right now. So if you pick a specific cabinet size, you get a very specific dimensions, you know, depending on the manufacturer's cut sheets. But custom sizing flag allows users to go beyond and choose their own values and specify their own values. Can be beneficial. So you might want that turned on. Anchor part. So let's say this was a valve. You know, you'd want it to anchor to the duct or pipe. Break into part. So I guess there's a difference between anchor and break into. So anchor means like a balancing valve, like a duct damper or a balancing valve. You don't want it breaking the duct, or you know, you want it sitting inside. It's just anchoring to the duct. Break into, though, would be like a duct coil. You know, it actually, the duct comes up to the coil, stops, and then continues on the other side of the coil. You know, this is neither of those. You know, this is an actual piece of equipment. Layer key. You might want to choose a layer key. So come in here, go down to M-MV for MvParts, and choose something here. So maybe this is a M-MV-AHU or something. Air handler split system. Right there. Okay. Display symbol in plan view. Well, if I'm a valve, I might actually have a valve symbol rather than using the geometry, the actual geometry. I don't want this. You know, this is an air handler, and so there is no top symbol for it. So we just say OK. Now we're actually truly done. And now we can do the MvPart add. I had to make sure that hide part flag was not turned on, though. So where were we? We were down here in the split system air handlers. And there we are. So now you see all the different values that I made visible, from the RHs and the RWs, and there's our custom data. You can see here's how I renamed this one. And so you can add those little descriptions in there. Because, you know, 2D distance, length A14, you know, this doesn't mean much to me. So you need to add a little description in there like I did on that one. Especially these work plane offsets. I think this one was the distance from the center to the bottom. You know, essentially the height of your return connection. This one was the distance between the bottom and the top. This is essentially the height of overall height of the cabinet. And this one was just the length of that one offset on the very top. You know, your supply connection. Custom sizing is false. This value you can never get rid of. It's always going to be there on our parts. And that's it. That's how this part's made, and you can pick one and insert it. Let's see what it looks like. Of course, my center point appears to be way off. Oh, you know what? We're just seeing the connectors here. We made our parts invisible, remember? So let's go back in there quickly. Modeling, model parameters, nope. Modifiers, we made these things invisible, so they're not visible right now.